Hello and welcome, I'm Dan, aka TPR, and I'm alongside editor, writer, part-time radio personality, TV critic, but above all, good friend, Alex Hoskins.
Hello!
And I'm here to talk, do some commentary about my solo album that I released last year called A Moment of Weakness. And me and Alex are just going to share some things about the album, what the inspiration was, how the songs were written and stuff like that. Yeah?
Yes, I'm excited.
Yeah, let's do it.
I can't wait.
So basically, I've uploaded the full album to YouTube, so if you want to listen, open up a new tab and just find it. I'll put a link in this commentary video.
Yeah.
Listen along.
Sounds good.
We'll have this. We should have it faintly in the background, so you don't lose the place. But I'll count in 3, 2, 1, and press play, and we'll chat about the album. Ready?
Yeah. So ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Can you hear it?
Oh, it's
we
lovely.
Can hear it. So we called this Day One.
Oh yes. I love the story of this song. Oh yeah.
So I named it Day One because someone we both know has a tendency to say that.
And it's something that we say to each other a lot as a result. It's not even like that person says it all the time. They said it once.
Anyway.
But it took on this whole new meaning.
Day One.
Yeah.
I did this song. I didn't do this song Day One. So I have regrets about this song.
Really?
And this might be a common theme throughout the commentary.
But it's so lovely.
But so I wanted to do like an overture because I don't know if you know this, I'm a big fan of progressive rock albums.
I had heard actually, yeah.
And they tend to have nonsense intros, like overtures, with bits of themes from the album all meshed together in one. But I feel like it wasn't labelled as an overture, it just said Day One, so you thought it was a legit track. And like people like to skip intro tracks, I think. I personally like to skip intro tracks as well. However, this track is like 3 minutes long, so it doesn't present itself as an intro.
No.
So I feel like people would have just listened to this, and I don't think I'm talented enough to mesh the different themes together. So it would just sound like a bit like a hodgepodge.
I think another theme of this commentary is going to be you saying you're not talented enough for this and you're not talented enough for that, and me going, shut up, Dan.
No, I don't want you to do that.
Well, I'm going to.
Oh.
Alright, fine, sorry.
But yeah, so I feel like people, like, you know, if they find it on Spotify, they'll listen to the video game tributes and they'll go, oh, what's this? This isn't a video game. And they'll realise it's an original album. And they'll listen to this and they'll go, well, this just sounds like 4 different songs taped together. And they're wrong, because it's not. It's 6 different songs taped together.
They just can't count.
So I should have either cut it down by a minute, so you'd see 2 minutes, there was probably a bit of an intro track, or just put in brackets overture, or intro, or 3, should have just done a better intro.
No, I think it's good. But yeah, it's going to be hard to know that it's an overture containing bits of the album before you've listened to the album.
Right, yeah.
So can you not change the name of it on Spotify?
No.
Oh, what?
Yeah. But just for those interested, it starts off with A Moment of Weakness, the 4 chords, and then there's a minute of the Outside Chance song, and then it goes to the chorus, to October, and then there's a bit from A False Dawn, and then Caligula, and then this bit at the end is from A Moment of Solitude, and that is called timing, my friend.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah, that's
Is that
all right.
the end of the first one?
That's the end of the first track, yeah.
It's steaming through.
So, first track proper, I'm going to call it, because that wasn't the track, is A Moment of Clarity, which was the first one. Oh, classic.
What a song. It's been a while since I've listened to your album, I have to say.
That's fine.
It's nice listening to it again.
Good research. So this is the first real track I did, apart from D.I.F.O.B, but we'll get to that later. You're in a bit in the story, because in November 2014, I was having a moment of weakness. And I was on a bench on the beach on my own. I think I text you like, I'm having a bit of trouble here. Are you free for a chat? And you're like, sorry mate, I'm at work. But when I was like, oh, that's no problem, I listened to a song called "The Fountain" by Pendulum, featuring Stephen Wilson from Porcupine Tree, and like I'll put it up in the video. I'll put a link if you haven't heard the song. I'll put a link up to it in the video, and it had the kind of which is borrowed. It's not
It's borrowed.
It's kind of inspired this. So yeah. And that's where a moment of clarity has come from, because it was just like, oh, I can work this out from there. And I went home and over the next week hashed it out.
Wow.
And
well
so it was
done.
kind of the first.
I'm really well done, you. No, but seriously, I'm sorry that story had to start with me not being there for you.
Another common theme for us. So, where was it? Oh, yeah, I have played. This is one of the few tracks that I can play live on command, rather than just be like, oh no, give me a week to practice.
Can you play it on a pipe organ?
No, I didn't. No, it's a good video. That I should link.
Yeah,
I'll link to the video of me
put that in as well.
playing one of the songs. Oh, I can't remember what it's called. Playing the Kuja Final Fantasy IX boss theme on organ.
It was very nice, whatever it was.
Thank you. That's your voice at the end of that video saying, "Do it again, do it again,
do it again, do it again."
And it's on. I put it on YouTube actually. Me playing this live. Not many people tend to see the live videos. It's a bit annoying, but yeah. So I'll link to that as well. So this, like, the overture doesn't have anything from this in, because I thought it would key change. I thought it would that's not a key change.
No, I didn't think it was.
It wasn't a key change.
You know, I would have been on it otherwise.
Sorry, I just got key. Look, written on my notes. I have at the bottom key change.
Key change! Exclamation mark. Me and Dan have a thing where every time we hear a key change, we shout key change. I actually did it last night.
Yeah.
I think it was like maybe Life is a Roller Coaster or something. I don't know if that has a key change in it.
I couldn't tell you.
No, it was Uptown Girl. It was the Westlife because it was St Patrick's Day yesterday.
Ah, Ronan Keating, member of Westlife.
Well, actually, Westlife and Boyzone, this is off on a tangent, Westlife and Boyzone are actually forming a supergroup called Boys Life. They're about to tour. They are.
Okay.
Anyway, there's a fantastic key change in Uptown Girl if you want to check it out. I mean, you can link to that one as well if you want.
Thank you. Anyway, as I was saying, I didn't want it to be in the overture because it was the next song, so I stuck it in Aftermath, which is the last track, which also has 9 million pieces in, which
cool.
basically has the 2 main tracks that don't appear in any of the other songs. And that's track 2 done.
Marvellous.
So if you're following along at home, we're on to Tiny Feet, also known as A Moment of Joy. I gave everything like a moment.
Oh, that's really cool.
But some of them are really reaching.
Really?
Moment of Joy is quite good. So
I want to hear what all of the moments are as we go through.
Yeah.
Good.
This is possibly my favourite track. It probably is my favourite track that I did. And it's also kind of the last one. So it's a complete fluke that it's my favourite. But, so, the etymology of this, like the last one had quite a grand story of discovering a theme that I could finally get. This one was named after a kitten.
Yeah. It was the cutest kitten in the world.
Definitely put up a picture on that.
Yeah.
So I realised that this was my favourite track. I hadn't named it. So I asked my wonderful partner of 12 years, and she had no idea. And she couldn't come up with a decent one. So I named it after the little kitten that was staying with us. And so we called it Tiny Feet. I think it works quite well.
The kitten had incy wincy paws. They were so small. Everything about
There's a good picture of you with a kitten actually.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't put that up.
Okay, good.
So because it was the last one done, I didn't fit any themes from it in like elsewhere. So I don't really have that much to talk to. Apart from a bit coming up, which I've got a timestamp on here. I've got a timestamp on my notes.
Blimey.
Yeah.
Research.
So now I just have to like talk really slowly until that comes up. But it's kind of happy.
It is. That bit.
Yeah.
You know the bit
especially
I mean.
that bit. Yeah, it's a good bit.
And it reminds, even though it was named after it had been written.
Yeah.
It still reminds me of the little
Ah.
running. Actually, the kitten didn't really run, did it? It sort of stumbled around.
It wobbled a bit, didn't it? It was very.
It was so small. Tell the story of its life. It was like found in a pile of wood or something.
Yeah. Yes, we've got 50 seconds until the theme comes in. I can tell you.
Okay.
Yeah, it was found. My partner is a vet nurse, and they get stray animals come in all the time, but this kitten had been rejected by its mum and was found in a pile of rubble, and so we took it in and made sure it got up to normal size before it could be rehomed, because we already have a cat.
Yes,
we have Una the cat, and she did not take kindly to a visitor. The kitten was so young it didn't have any concept of fear, so it would go up.
I think kittens tend to anyway, even when they get a bit older. They go up to older cats and just like meh, meh. So
you got a bit hiss. Anyway, here's a bit that has kind of repeated. This kind of and that leads into the solitude chord sequence. I'll point out that it hasn't really got a name, but I'm not even sure I intentionally did it. I think it was just laziness. Well, that sounds good. Then listen to the next one. Right. Oh god. But then we go back into the chorus.
I shouldn't click.
That's fine. I only did that so people, if they got lost, they
yeah,
can go, oh, it syncs up with that. This is another common theme throughout the album, just because of talent limits. It's the 3 chords. Dun, dun, dun. Anyway,
very good though.
It's track 3. Oh, I'm glad you like it. I like it too.
Yeah.
In fact, there's only 2 songs on here that I really don't like.
I can't wait to find out what they are.
This is not one of them. This is I called it A False Dawn, which is a moment of regret.
So what's the real name of it?
A False Dawn, I called it.
A False Dawn. Wow.
The reason why is because I wanted to have slightly loose parallels between the tracks early on, which I realised was a fool's errand. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the last proper track, if you don't include Aftermath, is called A Fitting End. I just and it has a bass. It goes boom boom, and so this had a boom boom, had the bass theme first. So I wanted to kind of keep it like that. So I thought it was an F word.
A F word.
F word.
But you resisted the urge to call it the F word.
Yep. So that's it. Doesn't really have much beyond that. Coming up is one of the themes heard in the overture. So after Tiny Feet and Clarity, I gave it 2 tracks before repeating themes.
People have probably forgotten it by then.
Exactly, or they're just not memorable enough. So here, yes,
that's the bit where I imagine you hitting the keys really hard and leaning forward, and you're obviously wearing a tailcoat or some kind of Rick Wakeman style cape.
I have to put a picture of Rick Wakeman.
That's that moment.
So that's heard in An Outside Chance as well. Here is the first instance of an irregular time signature in this. Like I said, I'm a big fan of prog, but I am not that talented a pianist, so I need to kind of go a bit steady. And this one works alright. I think this one's okay with with the spare beats. There are a couple that are so forced it sounds terrible, and I'll bring that up.
Surely not.
And there are a couple I've written down egregious in my notes. And there are a couple that are pretty good. If I may say so. That sounds horrible.
You may say so. If you didn't, I would just go no.
This is. Oh, sorry.
No.
This is from the overture as well. In a different key, though.
So at this point, you're using 2 hands.
Oh, God. So we can have silence, it's fine.
I've got several very obvious questions
Okay.
in my head. I don't. That was the only one.
Oh, here's a good bit of trivia. That's the exact same way that Tiny Feet ends. Laziness.
No,
Although,
that's an interesting. You're drawing a parallel here.
Yeah, from two tracks, consecutive tracks. If you want to hear that, go to. I've written the timestamp down so you can hear how lazy I am. 10:25 on the YouTube video to hear the Tiny Feet outro and that.
So you can compare how they are the same.
Yeah. So now we have I Know, which is an intro to 9 Million Pieces.
Oh, my fave!
Which is your song, Alex.
It's my song.
This is a moment of realisation. Which makes sense.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's in, to borrow a Spinal Tap reference, it's in D minor, which is the saddest of all keys. This one's not called Lick My Love Pump, though. Although it would have been good.
Although it could have been, you know.
So, a bit of trivia. We'll get into your feelings on 9 Million Pieces and the events surrounding it when that song kicks in. Because this, for some reason, got most plays on Spotify.
Well, I Know.
I Know, yeah. It's just a 2 minute... See, this is an intro, like, length. So you could tell that there's not really that much going on. It's just setting a scene. But it got, like, 3,000 more plays on Spotify than any other thing. And I'm like, I don't know much about pop music. But I didn't know if it was it was similarly named for something or it found its way on a playlist. But I was quite annoyed because it's not a very complex song. It's just an intro, and if that's what people are listening to, if
just
all
do
people
an
have
album
got
of intros. That's what the public want, Dan.
People are going, oh, check out this first track. Oh, it's just a load of things cobbled together. Oh, this is the most popular one. Oh, it's just 2 minutes of basic chords.
I think this one is beautiful in its simplicity. But it is setting that scene, and it's got that melancholy tone.
Oh, I've used that word sometimes before.
And yeah, no, I think it's. Yeah, I reckon you could listen to this whatever you're doing as well. You could listen to it while you're trying to go to sleep.
I knew I brought you here for a reason.
Well, you know, and you could put it on a nice playlist for someone you like.
Aww.
You know, it's
If they knew the story behind
it. Yeah, maybe not.
You can tell it's an intro because there's no break. I like to put 2 seconds of silence after each song just to say
boom.
That's it.
But here we've got
the organ comes in, and obviously I put in the organ because it's you, and you're a big fan of the organs.
I love organs. I actually do. I'm such a big fan of all kinds of organs. So big kind of organs you get in theatres and churches, and Hammond organs, electric organs.
Yeah, all right.
Sorry.
This is your song. Do you want to talk about it?
It is, yeah. So Dan consulted his friends for song themes and song titles, but just through conversation he knows what goes on in my life a lot. And this song was written
5 a.m. conversation.
Yeah, it was one of those late night conversations where you've been out, you've had a few drinks, and the world doesn't look the same as it does during the day, and something happened on this evening that made my outlook on the world very bleak. Basically, something happened, and I said that my heart had broken into possibly 9 million pieces. Was that what I said?
I think you said 10 million pieces, and you went, no, maybe not that many.
Just 9.
No, just 9.
Yeah. So it wasn't the end of the world by any stretch of the imagination, but at the time it seemed like it was.
And it was a good name for a song.
Yeah, and I think this song, having listened to this song many times, it very accurately conveys. It's basically if you think of a glass falling on the floor and breaking into millions of pieces, I think there's just so many bits in this song that
teardrops ?
Yeah.
So this is musically a slight rip-off. I didn't realise it at the time. It's definitely inspired. There's a song called Dryad of the Woods by a great progressive band called Pain of Salvation. It's an instrumental, and I took inspiration from it. But in preparation for this commentary, I listened to it again, and it's very close. I'll put a link up and you can decide for yourself. But I'm glad it conveys the. I mean, you're very descriptive. 5 o'clock in the morning through text messaging, but still, I'm glad you appreciate it and genuinely
really
like it.
I do. Even it's weird because even though it should remind me of like some horrible time when I was like, everything's awful, I really like it.
Oh,
I think it reminds me more of our friendship. Anyway, it's really good. Well
Thank
done.
you. I'm glad you like it. I put here. I should have put an incongruous key change at the end.
You should. That's true. That's the thing that's missing.
Yeah, but I kind of ended it on a soft version of the chorus. I
like the ending. The ending's blimmin' brilliant.
Yeah. Okay. We'll get to that when it's nearer the ending. But because you are obviously talking over it.
Sorry.
No. That's what you're here for. I didn't get a chance to talk about the main. And like it's quite anthemic, like for something I would do. Like it's very obviously what I do poppy songs, but it's still got a kind of you can chant along to it.
Well, every time we talk about your album, a lot of the time I'll just go and then we try and do like we tried to do a techno version of it. Yeah. I think it went pretty well.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. And it ends on a major chord to signify that everything is now good.
Yeah.
And it was good, like as the song was being written. Obviously,
yeah.
There's been a couple of like it's been unusual. Like I know most people get an idea and write a song about that, but I like to arbitrarily name my tracks. But this was written with the idea in mind.
Yeah.
And I'm glad it shows.
It does.
Oh god, this is the worst track. I hate this song so much.
Which one is it?
This is called A Moment of Solitude, and it differs from A Moment of Weakness, which is later on the album, because it has as a fifth chord on the end of it. And what I wanted to do was have a moment track at the start, a moment of clarity, and I wanted the moment of weakness to be at the end, which it is, kind of. And then I was going to put a moment song in the middle at 7, which this is. However, I should have made that moment song actually good. So this belongs at the end of an album. However, because I wanted to name it a moment because it had the chord thing. I put it in the middle. And now in hindsight, I could have just called it something else.
But what would you have called it?
Don't listen to this. Skip now. And it just oh god, how long does it go on for? I should have opened the Spotify thing. But there are a couple of incongruous key changes in this one.
Brilliant. It can't be that bad then. It sounds very nice to me.
It's just a bit boring, isn't it? But it's fine. Like
it's not as anthemic.
No, it doesn't. Especially that's the problem. Like
whoa!
Yeah, there it is. There's a key change. It's 4 minutes 11. It's the second longest song on the album.
Were you filling time?
Right, I'll get to that. So what were we at to? Yeah, so it's kind of a bit like the overture in that there's like some ideas cobbled together that don't really make sense, but that wasn't what I was even trying to do with this. Like, so
anyone who thought that the overture was just a load of things cobbled together, you're wrong. But if you thought that was what this was, then you're right.
Well, the overture kind of is, but it was meant to be.
But for a reason.
Yeah. Whereas this was just me desperate. It kind of almost got thrown out because I wanted to, like I said, the moment thing to have a chord all like that.
That's nice.
Yeah. See, it's gone back to the theme that I tried to develop, but it didn't make any sense because we just had a doodle 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 bit in it. And this is where the song should have ended. On this one.
But it doesn't. Sorry.
No, that wasn't a sight. You saying that was a sight. It not ending. Just keeps going. Like, doesn't matter. No one if anyone liked this album, they wouldn't have gone, God, I wish I had a couple more minutes of nonsense. I put basically another half-baked song because too short. Yeah, no, that's that's what I wrote down as well. So earlier I was talking about irregular time signatures. I put here for this bit coming up. Three, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. Put it in 5/8.
Wow.
Because it was a terrible irregular time signature in vain attempt to drum up interest.
There's a small amount of interest that's been drummed up there, I think.
Yeah.
I think it sounds like running down the stairs, but your shoe falls off.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like diddle-diddle-diddle-diddle.
And then finally finish on the 5 chords. And we are free of this nightmare. So this next track is a nice one. This is called October. There we go. A Moment in Time.
Oh.
Sorry. So good you were yawning.
I'm sorry.
So this is another arbitrarily named song. It's not named by any friend or anyone in particular. There is a kind of a doom prog metal band called Catatonia, not that one.
Oh,
not the one
rolled
with
away.
yeah. So you could get sued for that.
Oh, sorry.
After...
Other Catatonias. Wait, no.
No, that's not the problem.
Other Welsh bands are available.
And they have a song called Leithian, and in it he sings October.
See,
which
now
I
we're
quite
going to
like.
get sued.
Oh, that's fine. I mentioned it. It's
Oh,
a
okay, yeah.
homage. Yeah, you're right.
Mine was a pastiche.
That might be more legal,
Yeah.
actually. So back on track, I guess. I quite like this. This has my favourite hook on the album, like my favourite riff.
Even more than da-na-na.
No, it's an anthemic chorus.
Da-na-na.
It just takes ages to get there. It's also the oldest part of the album, I'd say. I did it about 3 years ago in an attempt. Like, I don't know, every time I try and start an original thing, it's like you get one done, you're like, yeah, that was good, but then you realise that no one really wants to hear it and probably wants to hear a new Final Fantasy cover. So, and those are a bit more fun to do when you're in trouble. But I had a moment of clarity, I'm doing air quotes.
Yeah.
And managed to get through some more stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so like I managed to use it's quite a rare thing to manage to reuse old themes. This bit. Yeah, that was like in an old song. So I managed to fit it in, and I don't think it's that obvious. I think it works quite well, yeah. And that chorus is in overture. And I liked it so much that I used it again. But a bit louder.
This is the bit where you... Boom,
yeah, that's where I put my tails up again here. I don't think I'll ever wear that.
I think you should.
Okay, thank you.
Now that you're coming into the office, you've got to look smart.
We're recording this in my office.
It's very cool.
Yeah?
It's got a window. It's not got any blinds or curtains, though.
Blinds are forthcoming.
Blimey. You got a cactus purchased by myself this afternoon.
It's great. Yeah, it's really good. Anyway, back to the music. This ends with the 4 A Moment of Weakness chords.
See, this is...
That's, if you need an ending, just rip off something from somewhere else. As long as it's your own, it's fine.
I like that they've lots of them have got that in it. I've never noticed it before. I've obviously not been listening actively.
It's kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to do this commentary, because I think some of them are not very good. Some of them are genuinely subtle, and then some of them just like need a bit of explaining because they're a bit arcane. Anyway, this is Caligula. This is one of our friends' tracks. This is the other track that was written with the theme in mind. And this is a moment of madness, by the way. And I kind of made it gentle for the first few minutes, and then the last minute is a bit. It's probably the loudest this album gets in terms of harmonically and dynamically. I think that makes sense.
So is this written with a story?
Not really. It was just like, we'll make it nice, and then we'll start a descent into madness, which I guess Caligula was famous for.
Yeah.
And his horse.
Yeah.
So this is the best irregular time signature used in the whole album. 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. I think it works really well in that you don't really notice it out of place, unlike the falling down the stairs or whatever you said, like the last one. So it worked quite well.
I don't know enough about the story of Caligula.
No, me neither.
Maybe we should Google it.
Maybe.
If we got time, how much of the song's left?
So this bit, I had this intro, and I had we'll call it the descent, the louder bit, but I had to kind of put it together. I think it's alright. It kind of has the bass first, dun 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 dun, from Fitting End, and then the other one, False Dawn. That's how much care I give to the names. I can't remember it. And it kind of bridges the gap between the soft bits, and it has this theme, which you'll hear in a bit.
I'm excited.
I think the most exciting thing about this song for you is the half-step key change that comes in.
Where
half-step.
is it?
It even has. It was my favourite technique is to use a bell as it comes in. So dun 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 bong dun 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 dun. We're building.
Something's coming.
Right, and then go into the descent. Get the bass going.
I'm starting to feel a bit mad. Carry on.
But nothing to do with the music.
No.
So this was also on the overture towards the end. Oh, is it this one? No. So some guy messaged me on Facebook. I think it was innocent, but he didn't accuse me. He said it sounded like the Final Fantasy VII battle theme, and he's not wrong, but it was not a conscious inspiration. Anyway, here it is. There it is. Anyway, yeah, I guess if you listen to that music and cover it for a living, it kind of gets into your head, doesn't it? So
yeah.
maybe
it's
I'll
part
post
of
a
the
link to it.
subtext of this album, I
And
would
another
say. Ooh. Spooky.
So yeah, all 9 million pieces key changes went on Caligula, I'm afraid.
That's alright. On your next album, can I have like a really happy track with loads of key changes?
Sure.
Like the Uptown Girl of TPR.
Yeah, sure.
Excellent.
That's your nickname.
The Uptown Girl of
Alex
TPR.
Hoskins, the Uptown Girl.
Oh yeah. I have been living in my white bread world. Is that the lyric?
I don't know.
I think it is.
If only there was a way to find out. So this next track is called An Outside Chance. There we go. And it has this theme, which you might recognise, which was from the overture and False Dawn. This is A Moment of Fortune. Doesn't really work, but
Is that like when you go to the casino?
when you find a penny, you pick it up. It's A Moment of Fortune.
Nice.
Because it's lucky. And I suppose casino works as well, doesn't it? But it's named An Outside Chance because of how likely it was to reach the final album.
Oh yeah. I remember you telling me that, actually. That's good. But here it is, and here we are.
So that was because like the start was just basically a theme that had already been established, and this second bit is on the overture as well. So I obviously didn't mind it, but it features my favourite moment on the album, which we'll get to. But other than that, it's no moment of solitude. It's not that bad. It's just a bit. It's a bit track 10, right?
Is it track 10?
It is track 10. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
It's
right.
doing its job.
It's not like Solitude. It actually earns its place on the album, but lower down. It's quite sedate, isn't it? What are you doing?
I'm doing the dance. For an outside chance.
Oh, nice.
Wait. How many tracks are there?
There are 14.
So we're like nearly there, we're nearly at the end.
Yeah, time goes by, doesn't it?
Oh. Can we do like an extended director's cut?
How would we extend it?
Just like make the pauses in between the songs longer.
Oh, okay.
Just keep talking.
That's what I do if I ever feel like any of my albums are a bit short. It's like when The Simpsons put the big long circus couch thing to extend the episodes. Except instead of a like assault on the senses circus thing, it's just silence. Anyway, this is back to the theme again.
Have we had your favourite bit on the album yet?
No. So the favourite bit is coming up in about 40 seconds. It's links back again. Couldn't think of a new theme, so it's another one you've already heard. But it goes to the Moment of Clarity main theme, which we haven't heard since the original, since Moment of Clarity. So I was quite, and it just works nicely. I think it's a good build up. It's a build up that I played in Tiny Feet, and then it goes into Clarity. I think it works right.
This is like a contemporary piano opera.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, it is. It just is.
People are gonna think I've just brought you in just to be nice.
I'm your hype man.
Yeah. You're the white flavour place. Here we go.
I love that bit. No, I do. I'm serious. So that's your favourite bit?
That's my favourite 10 seconds on the whole album.
You can't tell me off for for liking it then.
No, you're right. I can't. Sorry. I had a chance to change it up a bit then.
An outside chance.
Damn it! If this was the last track, I could have pressed stop then, and that would have been the best ending ever. Oh god. This is D.I.F.O.B. D.I.F.O.B. Which is a moment of misery.
How do we explain this?
I can tell you that the I.F.O.B. stands for is full of bullshit, but I can't say what the D stands for. But you know what my name is. This is another one of our friends' tracks, but it's a bit different in that this track was finished like 2 years ago, and I called it Sorry because I hadn't done anything new for ages, and both of my fans were very, very anxious to hear something new. So I called it Sorry, and our friend asked for a copy of my originals, and I'd just done this one, so I stuck it on. And she was like, oh, my favourite track is whatever number it was. And I was like, oh, I haven't put that on an album. Do you want that to be your track? And I asked for the name, and she said that, and okay. That's what it is. So it wasn't actually going to be on this album until she asked for it. And you can tell it doesn't really fit in because there are no themes. I've written down familiar cadence, which
it's
I'll get to.
Definitely got a familiar cadence.
But it doesn't have any like reused themes because it was written so long before any of the others. But it's alright. It's got a lot more background sounds. If you like, a lot more pads.
Oh, I like that.
Really?
Yeah, do more of that.
I do. It's just
produced by Alex Hoskins.
I do have that, but it's normally with video game themes that you obviously don't care about.
Sorry.
No, that's not your fault.
When you do a FIFA soundtrack, I'll listen.
Okay.
Or Crazy Taxi.
Crazy Taxi, yeah, that was the Offspring.
Do you know what I was going to ask you earlier? Sorry. Do you think anyone's ever searched, like Googled, a moment of weakness Final Fantasy, thinking that, like, maybe they'd missed this secret release? Do you think anyone ever thinks that a moment of weakness is a game?
Yeah, very much so.
Really?
People, well, they don't. They just think that it is a game because I've done it. Like, they'll say, like, oh, I don't know this game. Like, no, it's originals. I know Abby, the artist. I'll talk more about her artwork in a minute. I've actually earmarked that for A Moment of Weakness, the song, which is next. And like, oh, what video game is this from? And she's been like, none. Why does it have to be a video game?
Hmm.
Which it doesn't. But, you know, obviously I'm not famous for originals. I'm not famous for doing the covers, but more well known.
Dan, you're so famous.
Thank you.
Slab.
Oh, we're going to have to cut so much of this.
No!
Oh, here's the familiar cadence. Da, 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 da. That wasn't the familiar cadence.
Oh.
It says 38. I talked over it and that was 39. I misread
Sorry.
it. No, it's fine. Don't worry. So this is a moment of weakness, also known as a moment of weakness. It has that 4 chords that start off the album on the overture and may finish. I can't remember. But this is the title track, named so because I have had a lot of moments of weakness, and writing some of these songs helped me get out of them. So I was going to call it Grey Skies, the album, which I thought was even a bit too miserable for me. Because I don't know what you think, but some of the songs they're not miserable.
No.
Some of them are actually quite happy, like Tiny Feet and October's alright. And some of them, like this, is a bit plodding.
But I don't know.
It's
You have high notes.
Ah.
Like, literally high notes.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know. I don't think it sounds morose.
No.
There are melancholy moments. But yeah.
That's my talk show.
Melancholy moments.
With Dan Collins. So yeah, alright, this gives me the opportunity to talk about the artwork, which is, we both think is pretty special.
I love it.
It's so good. Yeah, I've got it up in my office.
I'm looking at it right now.
It's covering a...
It's covering nothing.
Yeah, alright, yeah, you're right.
To think that you might have called it Grey Skies and thinking of the artwork that would have gone with that.
Exactly.
That is not Grey Skies. That is
very much not.
Something very beautiful.
Abigail Scott, the designer, and I will link to, and some of her previous work, has done like 4 or 5 albums for me now, and is very incredible.
How much of a brief did you give her, or did you just say draw anything?
She came up with the ideas. This was inspired by 5 centimeters per second in anime.
Oh, okay.
I think it's the rate that cherry blossom falls or something like that it's called.
Wow.
I asked for some kind of like paper airplane or something. And like it's like aimed at the plane going by. It's
I've got
goosebumps. She I will, you know what, I think I'll post a screenshot of when I showed you it and your reaction to it, because I think that'll work. So
good.
Yeah, it is really good. It's better, like everything she does, it's better than the album that accompanies it. Also, you wrote some words for my sheet music.
I did. I'm sure nobody has read them. And also, I realised afterwards everyone told me I wrote too many, because I didn't know how many I was supposed to write. And I wrote like 600 or something.
It was fine.
But yeah, I don't know. I can't remember what it was, but I think it was quite nice.
It was nice and insulting in equal measure.
Yeah,
much like
that's
our
what
friendship.
You wanted.
Yeah.
Didn't I say like you couldn't open a door or something?
Open a jam jar, I think.
Yeah, open a jam jar.
That was my main moment of weakness.
Yeah.
It's like I couldn't open a jar of jam. Or jelly for our US listeners.
The international listeners. But I don't think I've even ever given you a jam jar to open, so it was all lies. Exposed the lies behind Alex's words.
Well, that managed to use up the time for that song.
Well, hey.
I think it's a nice song. It's not like I was talking over it because I don't like it. It's just it was the title track, so I thought we'd talk about the album a bit. Last, but not really last, is a fitting end. A moment of closure. This was called Closing Credits because it was going to be the closing credits music for our shows we were going to do. We were going on little walking tours and film it.
Why can't we still do that?
We still might do that.
Yeah, let's just do it.
Yeah, alright. Okay.
And then we can put them on the website for my new venture. Coming May 2016.
Wow. Short time frame.
Yeah, let's not think about that now.
Okay. Yeah. So this is not at the end because it's my least favourite. It's because I just felt like it was a fitting end, and that's why the song is called that. Also, it's slow and also like in the worst key signature, so it's not an easy one to play. Nice.
Sorry.
It's got like not now, but the dun 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 and kind of the octaves thing going on, which is borrowed from 9 Million Pieces. I say that it was the other way around because this was written first. This was the second track I did. Oh.
What?
I thought you were going to yawn.
No.
Okay.
As if.
It's putting you to sleep. That's fine.
It's not. Is that what you want?
I don't mind. People can enjoy my music.
Are you
or
on?
Not enjoy.
Do you know if you're on any like dedicated sleep playlists? There are loads
so
of them.
Boring. No, I don't. I don't mind. I did, however, put this background to a Michael Scott and Toby Flenderson supercut. This is the music to that. Obviously, it is covered in copyright issues, so I won't be able to put it up on YouTube, but I might unlist it, maybe, and then post up the link so if people want to hear it, they can. It's someone else's, the supercut is someone else's work, so I won't take credit, but the song is this one.
Can we watch that after this?
Sure.
Sweet. And let's just remember that you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. That was...
Yes. That's a quote that's up in my office and in Michael Scott's paper company office.
Originally attributed to Wayne Gretzky, who
Yes.
everybody knows is a famous hockey player.
Ice hockey.
Ice hockey, yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any other kind?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
If there is, I haven't heard of it. Apologies if you're still listening. Not because this is bad, I'm just so sorry that you've got nothing better to do with your time.
Well, anyone who is still listening is going to switch off now, because they'll be like, well, TPR said I'm a waste of space with nothing better to do.
I didn't say that. Alex Hoskins just said that. Writer and editor Alex Hoskins just said that.
They don't care about my opinion. I'm not a celebrity like you.
We're nearing the end, though.
I think I'm going to cry. Or yawn.
Or both.
Or cough.
Truly the most beautiful moments of this commentary were when you peeled away to one side and just yawned. As if it was going to make any noise.
I know that bit.
Yes, it's Aftermath, the epilogue. Because 9 Million Pieces didn't really feature in the album, like, apart from in 9 Million Pieces. I thought, we'll put it in Aftermath. And it has a more...
Stop it!
more pronounced organ, which, if you're the best type of organ, as we all know, is a pronounced one.
That's right. Bomb to solo.
Bomb to solo, yeah. So, this is a decent length for an outro track, in that it's less than 2 minutes. A lesson I should have learned for the intro. And we're into Moment of Clarity again. I've written down here that it ends with a minor chord just because.
But 9 Million Pieces ends with a major chord because
That has a reason, yeah.
we think everything's going to be alright. So does that mean that this ending with a minor chord means that you don't think everything's going to be alright?
Maybe the Moment of Clarity didn't have the desired effect. Whoa. And that's it. That's the end.
Again.
Well, thank you very much for listening.
Oh yeah, thank you. I thought you were talking to me.
I was. I was going to say thanks.
My pleasure.
Thanks to everyone else. If you have stuck with us, I hope you've learned a couple of things and realised what kind of themes I reused and then reused again, because I couldn't think of anything else, and which tracks I hate, which tracks I like. And hopefully it has got more interest in the original stuff, because obviously it's never going to be as searched for as the Final Fantasy and other video game covers. But it would just be nice if people like came across it and go, this is cool. Like, obviously it's great when people say how much they enjoy the stuff or what they didn't find good, but they're still passionate enough to tell you. But like getting a compliment or a constructive criticism on an original, you're just like, you've heard it. You actually heard it. That's so good. And hopefully I want to get another one out before the end of the year.
Whoa!
I'm
excited.
If that's an exclusive.
Boom.
We'll be here this time next year doing another commentary.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hopefully you will enjoy what is to come in the next few months.